Alright, so we're going to walk through this step by step here. I have a shorter video, it's only like 50 seconds, so if you want to use that one instead, you can. But I wanted to kind of walk through how the process of pen and ink kind of goes when you start going from sketch all the way to inking. Now, a few people might have still kind of been using some smooth options. Smoother surfaces are actually a lot harder to draw than like rough and cracked or furry surfaces, because you have to get a lot of details in order to make it look nice. So as you can see here, I'm doing a camera that has a lot of hard edges, but it still has enough texture to make it interesting. Any smoother than this, and I'm actually going to be having a lot of trouble. Like, the only thing I could possibly use on a smooth surface and still make it look good is stipple. And so if you're doing something that's really smooth, maybe consider rethinking your project, just because pen and ink doesn't do that super well. Alright, so now I've slowed down my processes after the sketch is done. I've gone in with an eraser too and slightly erased over it to make it not quite as pencil-y, so then when I'm penning over this, I'm not going to smudge around lead and get it stuck in the ballpoint or stuck in the pen at all. You can always erase your pencil after you've done your pen, but it is just easier to start with a cleaner surface. So I have erased a little bit, so it's a lighter pencil drawing. So as you can see, I'm kind of going with hard edges. You actually want to go around your outlines a little bit more first and really get those nice and smooth so that it has a nice clean look to it. On my skeleton or my skull that I had done before, I had done a lot of internal shading first, and then I went in with the pen and kind of traced around some of the harder edges. But when you start with a harder edge, you might want to go in and start with those edges that are nice and clean. So now I've skipped ahead a little bit because I drew for a really long time. The thing about like a drawing that you can actually like see and move is you can keep moving it just like I did there, and then you can see it from different angles and get different details, and you end up with a much more dynamic, lifelike looking piece, and it just looks so much more three-dimensional. So here, again, kind of going through, cleaning up your lines, making sure that only the best parts of your picture are colored. And then once you start going in with shading, you want to go in with your lightest shading first. So you go to your darkest places where there will be true black, but you still shade it almost lightly. Notice how I've got the folds of my camera are like gray, but those are going to get darkened to almost black. But I start lighter because you can always darken, but you can't go back and lighten with pen. So yeah, I would go into your darkest areas and start shading those, and then you build on your shading. You do one layer of shading, and then you go back, and then you do another one and another one. And a trick that I always use is squint your eyes or blur your eyes. I don't know if you've ever looked at a picture and just like blurred them so that everything is out of focus. Do that to your picture as well. See if you can blur your eyes so that you can see it in a different way, so that when you're going in, you can see which areas are darker and lighter. So using a variety of pen techniques, making sure you're finding which areas will be true black, going in with your dark areas, and keep shading until it starts hitting the true shades of your object as well. And always keep that object there. Don't put it away as soon as your sketch is done. Always keep it present so that you can keep looking at that as a reference. All right, I hope that helped a little bit more. And I hope that this demonstration was helpful. I hope that you have fun making your picture.